Hey, everybody, welcome to the book club. We are going to get started with the book club right after a few announcements. The book club goes live every Tuesday at noon, where we discuss What If, a Transformational Guide by Greene. Toni Greene. Um, each and every question has been channeled from above. Uh, this week's question: what if angels are real and are ready and waiting to help you? We're not gonna limit this to angels. We're gonna talk all deities, saints, gods. Some people believe in gods, goddess, Ganesh, Lakti. I think that's it. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I apologize. Um, so we're going to be discussing that. But before we do, I just want to announce I go live every Monday at noon with my psychic medium skills and abilities and answer your questions about life, love, career, finances. I do a second show most weeks. Right now it's Wednesday at noon, tomorrow at noon. Um, I think that's it. Don't get scammed if anybody reaches out to you. And it's pretending to be me. I don't reach out to people, so please don't get scammed. What else? What else? What else? Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Noelle. Hi, Vaughn. Hi, Heather. Hey, everybody. If you'd like a copy of the book, the link is in the bio, and Rebecca is also kind enough to put it up on screen. You can call in on Podbean. Anybody who wants to call in, I'm watching the screen now. You can go ahead and call in on Podbean, and I will catch that call. And we can all start discussing what if angels are real and they are ready and waiting to help you. How does that change your life? And if you already believe that, which I know a lot of my people do believe that, I do know they are in that place where they believe angels are real, and I know that they work with angels also, knowingly or unknowingly. I will say one thing that I know is that, excuse me, one thing I know or that I've channeled or understand is everybody has at least a minimum of 2 to 3 angels that are with them from their very first inception to their last inception. These angels, and there's also spirit guides from their very first inception to their last inception that follow them, that stay with them, and help them in this life on their journey. So I do happen to know that based on what I've channeled for myself and for others. And when we're going through something, a business, education, um, bringing a baby in, uh, getting married, meeting someone, or even if we are in danger, other angels will come in and assist. When we're, let's say, going for a degree or doing something in that area, guides and angels will come in and assist with that. There are, from my understanding, angels for education, angels for finances, angels for protection, just like there are saints for finances and all of this is for every area. That's my understanding, and I think a lot of people have that belief system. So I wanna talk about if you've ever seen an angel. That Hey, Catherine, I'm so happy that you're back too. Is Shelley with you? Finally got Shelly's chat working. Nice. Hey, Shelly, there she is. If you guys want to use Podbean to call in, you can. Otherwise, you can put your comments in the chat. But join in. Please join in. Today's question: what if angels are real and they are ready and waiting to help you. I know a lot of people have so many, excuse me, this chair is squeaky. So as I move, I'm rubbing up against the chair and it's making noise, and I apologize for that. Um, if you've ever seen an angel or felt an angel, I remember one time I was in a car accident, and usually you really know an angel's presence, angelic presence, when everything slows down. It feels like it's going really slow to you, even though it probably was going very fast. On two specific occasions, I know there were angels. Once when I was in a car accident, and my car that I loved so much hit the freeway wall on every side, and it went like the if you ever watch the Bionic Man, like do 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 do, so slow. Everything was so slow, and then and I was fine. I just my car stopped, and I was like, like it was crazy. And then the second one was my third near death, where everything went really super duper slow, and I was getting so much intel at that time. So, 3 people are already called in. If anybody else wants to call in, please don't hesitate to call in. If you cannot because you're at work or whatever, that's okay. Put it in the chat. I'm going to read as much as I can from the chat when I can, whether you're on Podbean or on YouTube. Chat it up with us, and we are going to go. I'm going to give the people that have called in the opportunity to say whatever it is. So Fawn, Heather, and Rebecca are all on the line. Whoever wants to go first, go ahead, and let's talk about this question, what it means for you, and what it changes, if anything, in the way you do things. Go ahead, whoever wants to go.
Hi, I'm on here if that's okay. This is Fawn. Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. And I really, really believe highly in this, actually. I believe I know that we have angels and spirit guides with us every single day. And I actually do a practice where I say several times during the day, I give them permission to guide and protect me every single day. And I do feel that really does help a lot to keep you on the right track. You can also tell when your spirit guides and your angels are close by. Well, I can see energy. So like, say I was taking a test in college. This is before I knew. I could see a bunch of energy around my face, like swirling around. And I knew at that moment I was being assisted because I could see the energy. Now, back then I didn't know what it was. I literally went to the eye doctor to have my eyes checked, and to find out later on that was energy. I'm able to see energy. It's something I can do. But I want to tell you guys one little story, because I do have to go back to work. And this is a story about how angels do come for you. This happened a couple of days ago. My husband and I were dealing with a toxic situation. We got off the phone from the toxic situation, and my husband said, I wish we could be a fly on the wall over at the other house. About an hour later, my phone rang. I pick up my phone and I say hello, and all I hear is a bunch of screaming and all this stuff in the background. That person that my husband said he wished he could be a fly on the wall for butt dialed us, and we sat on the phone for a good 10 minutes and heard a bunch of stuff. So if your angels can't come through for you, if that doesn't validate to you guys that it's real, I just want you to know it's real. That's just one of many, many stories that I personally have been touched by, and know that they are assisting us every single day. And it's such a great feeling because you get that validation. Even if it wasn't something I wanted to hear, it was just the knowing that, yes, they're there, they're working with us, they're trying to help us. And at that moment, it gave us a little bit of insight into the problem, that it wasn't just us. Like, we could hear things that were going on, and we got some information from that. So that's my story. I just wanted to tell you that cute little story. It happened a couple days ago, and you were talking about angels, and I'm like, I have to tell that story.
I love that one. I'm going to tell you, like, that is so true. So sometimes angels show up as orbs, like that. They're a little speck of light. Sometimes that's our loved ones. Sometimes it's angels or guides. And I've done meditations. And if you guys want, I could do like a guided meditation for everybody. But I've done not today, but separate from book club. But I've done meditations where all of a sudden I'll see a specific angel like there, and they're so huge. I mean, angels are freaking huge. And I've seen them in their, what we would say, the physical form, but also at night when I'm doing, I have a monthly prayer thing for people who um sign up, and I'll be doing the prayers for each person, and in that I see the angels showing up and working on each person also. So not only my angels but their angels, and it is amazing once you understand they're there and you understand energy and how it works. It's amazing to see how that it can work for everyone, for not only you but others. And yeah, the education thing, when you're taking tests, when you're in school, when you're in even if you're not, if you're in a situation that is not like the best situation, angels will automatically be there to protect you, even if you don't have the time to ask them. And that's been my personal experience. And I've seen so many stories of that too. So
going back to seeing angels, though, I can tell you I've only seen one. I saw one at my grandma's house one time
nice.
in bed, and I saw this big white like thing, and that was the only time I've actually seen the angels. I mostly can just see, energy and stuff like that, but not necessarily the actual angel myself, at least. Anyways, I'm going to go silent now. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And I will tell you this, I've seen angels perform miracles in people's lives. I was working with a client, and this is just one of the stories. One of my clients came in and they were having heart issues and we're supposed to get like surgery. And I have to be careful of how I say this on air because I don't want to get shadow banned. I don't want the show to be taken down. Um, and so even just this subject in and of itself can be considered community guidelines, but what I'm about to say really can be, because it goes against certain uh, things. But this client came in. So I'm going to say this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Sometimes when you say that, it helps. And they were going to have heart surgery. And I said, well, do you mind if the angels take care of that right now? And I think this is the first angel surgery I did with a client. And they said, no, it was a guy and he was a little bit more mature. And I said, okay, sit back in the chair, because he was in a recliner. I go, just sit back in the chair. And as the angels did this work on this guy, I would say, okay, you're going to feel a little pinch now. And he would go, yeah, I feel it. Like, it was to me, the most amazing, miraculous thing I had the honor of being involved in. But then also the most amazing, miraculous thing to know this happens. And you don't, like I say to people, you can do this on your own if you're ready and you're a believer. But also that having somebody guide through it is really good. And after that, there were a number more people that came to me, and we did similar situations, I'll put it that way. And it was just so, like, to be in that space and to know that that's a possibility, and that person in that case never ended up having that procedure done because everything was okay. That to me is just everything. And to know, like, I know we're talking today about angels, but even if we talk about like the Jesus or whatever you call Jesus, or Saint, the saints or deities, like whatever you believe in will come forward and help you in whatever way with whatever you want. And sometimes we lose that faith because we live in a very physical world, and we live in a very physical element where we believe that what's going on around us is what we are to experience. Like if and this show is really helping me today because there have been some things that I need to get back into my angel element. That's all I'm going to say about that. So I love that we're doing this show today. It's the best. So okay, who else wants to go? Who wants to go next online? Noelle joined us online also. So whoever wants to go next, unmute yourself. And
good morning, Rebecca.
Hey, Rebecca.
Good morning. You know, not that I'm embarrassed, or I am. I feel like I'm still learning about angels. And I say this, I haven't seen an angel's physical like body, but in the sky. A couple years ago, I saw lights in the sky, and I'm like, okay, are those UFOs? What are they? And I came home and told my kid, and he was here with his girlfriend. He's like, Mom, stop, whatever. I'll see them every once in a while. I'm not kidding. Yesterday night, I'm driving back again, and these lights, in literally like a, oh my God, how do I say it? I'm sorry, guys, if I sound crazy, but I'm learning.
Nobody thinks, first of all, nobody thinks you're crazy, or they would not be here with us, okay?
I know. Well, I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in the sky, and they're not up in like in the stars. They're lower, and you can see them there. And they're because I always try and I look and I'm like, oh, it's dark today. It's dark, but it's been years. And again, I saw the lights, and I'm like, there they are again. And there was 4, and then another one inside. I'm like, okay, that one's a plane, but those are. I'm like, and today, based on this show, I'm like, are they angels? Because they're not UFOs. And I'm like, okay, I'm learning. But I have seen orbs, like when I'm washing dishes. I see lights in my walls, just like the light that just went on your show right now. Stuff like that. But I haven't, and I had miracles, lots of miracles. And this is gonna sound kind of crazy too, but I have a truck, and it's stick shift, and I parked my truck. This is late at night, and I went to visit a cousin. He was talking to me. I'm sorry if you hear my birds.
It's okay.
And I parked my truck in the street, and it was late at night. I think like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I was so tired. And I guess I hit the clutch, and my truck went all the way back, and I hit a car. It was a Corvette. It was my neighbor's house, and I ran into my house quietly because it was late. And I told my mom, I hit a car. I damaged the car. She goes, go to bed and start praying. Just start praying. And she says, be quiet. Just go to sleep. Be quiet. The next day I wake up, the car was okay.
Oh my goodness.
I know. That to me is a miracle.
I love that. I love it so much. That does happen. Like, people don't believe that can happen, and it can happen. Like, I've seen so much with angels and what they can do and how they do it, and not only in my life, but when you pray for somebody else's life too, and you watch that transformation in their life or that healing, like, it's amazing. It even if sometimes that person doesn't believe, it will start to work on them. It might take a little bit longer, but yeah. And the lights, I want to go back to that. Some people call those orbs of energy or energy balls. And And I see those all the times. Rebecca, if you can see them outside, that means you could probably see them inside your house. And we catch them out of the corner of our eye. But when we try to look directly at them, they can disappear. But here's what I want you to do the next time you see the orbs, Rebecca, just start talking to them. The next time you see the angels, sometimes, again, sometimes they're angels, sometimes they're loved ones, but just ask them, like, one of the things I did early in my, very early in my, uh, very early in my journey was, I would say, why are you here? Because I was lying in bed and I was working with energy. I was sending out healings to everybody. And I started to see my room. And I know it sounds absolutely wonkers. I saw my room filled with all white, like moving energy. And I would say, why are you here? And I would just hear love. And tears would flood out of my eyes at that point, and just be like because it wasn't just the word, it was the feeling that came with that word.
I was gonna say that I have a feeling, because when I talk or say something, it's a beautiful feeling within inside. Like it's, and I get emotional. There's times I cry. I'm like, but if it's beautiful cry, it's not like a sad.
Yes.
It's, I don't know how to express that emotion, but it's so beautiful. It's beautiful.
And I said, I've had 3 near-death experiences, and especially during the last one, because that one was the most vivid. The feeling of that is like the feeling of interacting with your angels. It is one of the most amazing, just beautiful, all-encompassing love feelings. Like, it's so, just, I can't even begin to, like, the words. It just is one of those things. It really is. So thank you, Rebecca. Please, and even if you've already talked, please stay on, because you can come back again. Who, I think Heather wants to go next. Heather?
Hey, Toni. Hey, everyone.
Hey.
I seen an angel. I think it was an angel. I've never seen him or heard him described the way that I've seen it, though. It was like water. It was like a water person, like a water figure. But it was hopping from one roof to another roof when I was a little girl, and I was outside of a church waiting to get into church. And I've never heard of an angel looking like this. So I'm like, am I crazy? But I see that all the time now. And so it's like, people describe orbs and stuff, and I actually see like a figure, but it's clear, but you can see it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I've had experiences where I was at the right place at the right time, and like there was a car wreck, and the guy was upside down in his truck on an icy night and morning, really early, and I stopped and got some other people to stop, and we flipped the car up to get the guy out of the car. And I mean, I've been through a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't still be here. I've had like a voice tell me to stop when I was driving. If I wouldn't have stopped exactly where I stopped, I would have been hit head on. It's just a lot of crazy stuff like that has happened, and I'm just like, oh, okay, yep, they're definitely angels.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So that is one thing too. Like, if you ever get the message, like, don't leave the house yet, or wait 5 minutes, please listen, because that's not you procrastinating. That's not you. Like, okay, so in my 3rd near death, prior to going there and all the way there, I kept hearing, don't go, just turn around, go back home. And I was like communicating, going, oh, but I always back out of things I say I'm gonna do. I have to fulfill this commitment. And it was working with a magician that whatever. Anyway, and I was doing it as a favor for a friend, and it wasn't even my thing. Anyway, anyway, all the way there, I just kept hearing, go home, go home. I wish I had listened to that. I really wish, because that thing changed my whole entire life. But yeah, if we listen, if we stop, if we do what they say, it will be so much easier. Our life, we avoid things that we really don't want to experience in the first place. We really do. And I think I've seen once or twice the water angels. Mostly I see the air angels, but I'm an air sign, so maybe that's why. Like, I see the orbs and I see them in the air form. But I have once or twice seen the water angels once or twice. They look kind of like watery is the way you describe it. So yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not crazy then. Okay.
No, not at all. Not at all. So Noelle is also on the line. I want Noelle to have an opportunity right now to come on if she can and say, hey, Noelle.
Hello, everybody. So, listening to everyone's stories kind of brings up a question.
Yeah.
So, I also believe that there are angels or individuals guiding us. But I mean, what is the most effective way to communicate to our angels? Is it through prayer or speaking out loud? And also, is it okay to ask for things like a better job or a better partner? Or how do you ask for guidance? So, those are two questions I would start with.
Okay, Noelle, I love you so stinking much. So that's where I was going to go. I was going to let everybody say their experiences or whatever they wanted to say. And then I was going to say, okay, now if you know they are there and they're ready and willing to help, how do you go there? They're waiting to help. They're willing to help. First, one thing that I've always heard is, in order for your angels to do something, you have to ask them. I believe that, and I don't, because I know many people here have already said, like Heather, when you hear stop, or don't do this, they will communicate with us in cases of, I don't want to say emergency, but to help and guide us. That's in part that voice that we hear, whether it's an angel, a guide, a loved one from the other side, whatever it is, that guidance is always there. If we want specific guidance, we can ask. And we ask in a way that is a definitive question. For example, if you're a boss at a company, and the way you would ask your employee to do something is not like, hey, if it's okay, would you mind going and whatever. It's like kind of how you ask your kid, hey, go get me a bottle of water out of the fridge. I don't mean like that, but kind of like that, like kind of like in a definitive way. So when people communicate with their angels most effectively, there's only one rule I know of: never interfere with a specific person's free will. So if you want a partner, you can say, okay, bring me the person that is best suited for me, my soulmate, blah, blah, blah. But you should never say, bring me this person or whatever it is. And especially in prayers, they say prayers are like, I feel like I have to qualify this. Some people say when we speak, we're spelling words and it's like magic, and we have to be careful what we ask for when we're spelling words and using that sort of magic sort of thing, or manifesting out into the world. But I think as long as we're keeping it not a specific person, unless you're already with the person, the thing I would say, if I'm at a job with a person or doing, something very specific like that. If it's a job, for example, I would say, hey, if this is the job I'm supposed to have, make this job go, in the best way and to the best level, so on and so forth. But if it's not, bring me the career or the job I'm supposed to have. And the same thing with a person. If I'm already with a person, I will ask for their guidance in how to do the relationship the way it's supposed to be done. But if it's not, to end the relationship, which can be very painful. And a lot of people are not ready to let go. But I will also say, bring me the person that is the right person for me, and show me without a doubt that this is the right person for me. And then you have to listen. You have to ask, like, is this the person I'm supposed to be with? Is this the right relationship? And you will get that answer. Now, you have to be able to bypass your own wills and wants and get into that energy, that meditative space where you are listening outside of yourself instead of kind of inside of yourself, if that makes sense. That answer, because and a lot of times the answer isn't the one you want. It's not fear answering, it's not ego answering, it's not what you want answering, it's the truth resonating with you. You can ask for anything. It doesn't always mean it's going to show up immediately or in the way you ask. And the more general you leave the manifestation prayer or request, whatever you want to call it, the easier it is for them to bring it to you. So some people say, I want to win the lottery. I want to win the lottery. Well, you're competing with, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of other people that want to win the lottery. And they all want that big jackpot. So if you say, hey, bring me my lottery, bring me my position, bring me my whatever it is person, it's easier for them to do that without it has to come this way. Because some people, I would like to say everybody has the opportunity to win a lottery, but your lottery might not be like a Powerball or a Mega Millions lottery. It might be a completely different type. Like you might hit the lottery of love. You might hit the lottery of, business or whatever it is. But not everybody will win that $800 million Mega Millions, because you have to, first of all, live in California, and second of all, know the owner of the Mega Millions. I'm just kidding. That's so a joke. um so anyway, I hope you guys are laughing at that. Anyway, but no, seriously, what your lottery or how things are to come to you may be completely different than how things are to come to somebody else. And then third, you have to really, really believe it's a possibility for everyone, but especially for you. So you can get, let's just say, for example, Noelle, a supervisor position. You can. So it's a matter of timing and the right position for you, because you don't want to go into a position that is a unhealthy position or one that you might not enjoy. So you say, bring me the right supervisory position for me where I can do the most good for others. When I'm working with my work, I always say, bring me people I can help. Just bring me people that I can help, that I can effectively help. And because it doesn't do any good if somebody comes to me and they're so like out of the element of how do I say this without, sometimes people really, they just want their answers. They don't want the truth. And so me giving them the truth is not helping them in that case. right? So when I'm asking for clients, I just tell my angels, like, bring me those people that I can really help, but like through hypnosis, through healing, um, through my books, through readings, whatever it is. So, and then relationship is again, whether whether it's with friends or with whatever, I always say, bring me the people where we can have healthy, loving relationships. Now, I will say this, I've asked God to show me, God and the angels, to show me the truth about people or to take the people out of my life that do not belong in my life and they disappear like roaches in the light. I'm not even kidding. Like communication will cut off. And as a matter of fact, if somebody reaches out after a bit of time, I'm like, God, if this person does not belong, just take them now. If they're not good for me and they do not have the best intention for me, get them gone. Get her gone. And they'll be gone. And I'm like, thank you, because I'm such a, some people would call it weak, but I think I'm just a person who, like, if you show up, I'm going to have that conversation and I will try to see where it's going. I won't assume your motives are shitty, even though they probably are. Um, so yeah. So I leave it at, I say, hey, God, if this person does not belong, take them now. And sure enough, I will not hear from that person again. I'm like, well, God said so. That's not on me. That's on God. God did that, not me. So that's another way you can work with your angels. Let's talk about manifesting physical things. Help. Give me an example. You can put it in the chat. If you're on the phone line, you can unmute and say something physical that, like, you might want to manifest, and I can kind of try to guide through the best way to ask for it if I haven't covered it already. Oh, you're so welcome, Noelle. Does anybody have something specific they would like to um, do? While I'm waiting for that answer, Catherine says, I say an angel prayer nightly. I love that. I love that. To watch over all my loved ones. I'm not afraid to ask angels for stuff, but to make it up to them, I invite them on fun trips. Oh my gosh, I love that, Catherine. And like them to also have fun with when I am. Oh my gosh, I would not have even thought of that, Catherine. I love that. I love it. Okay, Heather put in money owed back to me and my kids. LOL. Just call it from the universe, Heather. I'm gonna, um, if there is money owed to you, let's say in your case or anybody's case, whether it's from a past employer, child support, maybe a lawsuit that somebody didn't fulfill, and it's money that's owed to you. The way I would say it is, universe, I wouldn't leave it to the person who owes it, because clearly that person might not ever fulfill that thing for whatever reason. They don't have it, they don't want to, they're just not going to, whatever it is. So what I would say is, and I've asked many times, I'll do this, I'll go, angels, can you bring this back to me? If the answer is no, I'll say, God, do you bring this? Jesus, do you? And then I'll get to, like, universe, creator, can you create this in my life and bring this to me? And I always, once I get to universe, I get a yes, no matter what I'm asking for. And then I'll say, okay, universe, bring this back to me. Show me show me, show me the best way to say this to you. And then I'll relax my entire body. And then I'll say, I'll the thoughts that come, I'll allow them to go. And then I'll just bring it in and say, bring me all of the money that is owed to me or has been deemed for me by judgment or otherwise, bring it to me now with interest, add with interest, and then however you can get it to me. Sometimes it comes in bonuses from work, but we think, oh, that was a bonus for work. I worked for that. But other times it will come like, and I do, in a way that is like a gift from someone or an inheritance we didn't expect. One time I got an inheritance from somebody I'd never even met. It was a family member, but I'd never met this person. And then there was an inheritance from that person. I thought, that's awesome. Um, so, yes, Rebecca says, I'm currently manifesting myself to love myself more. Also, manifesting my home to be safe place for my children and their children. I love that. Let's do self love, you guys. Let's clear anything stopping, blocking, interfering with self-love, loving ourselves unconditionally. Let's clear, heal, release any all that caused this and kept this. Let's clear, heal, release. Oh, all the programs, patterns, and beliefs that started this and kept this and keeps it running. Let's heal all of those. Let's pull all of that now. And then the other thing, let's see self-love as an example so we can follow it. Sometimes we see people who love themselves and we think, wow, that's a very selfish person. But then when we understand what self-love is and how to love ourselves appropriately, it's like having those really strict rules and or boundaries for ourselves. The difference, and a lot of times people don't understand the difference between loving yourself and egoic feelings. Loving yourself, well, let me start with egoic. Egoic is better and or worse than others. The comparison to other places. People think my home is better this way, my job is better that way, I need this to feel good about myself, or I look better this way, I look better than these people. It's and I'm going to say something that people are not going to like right now, but please listen to the whole statement. When people get cosmetic work done, which I've had done, so I'm not body shaming, cosmetic surgery shaming anybody, but when people get cosmetic work done and then they talk about how old somebody looks, I've had my lips filled, okay, because I love plump lips. I just love fuller lips. But when somebody looks at somebody else and then talks about how people look at a certain age, but they have their face full of stuff, that's egoic and very tacky. How would you look if all that was sucked out of your face? If there was no Botox, there was no filler, there was no laser treatments? Be kind. Be kind. I love that you do that for yourself. I think it's great. But the comparison or the judgment of somebody else, that's ego. Okay. Now, when you do something for yourself and you just love it for you, but you can also look at other people and love what they have for them, that is the other side of it. So if I'm doing self love, like I can look in the mirror and just say, I love myself. I love the way I look. I know I don't look perfect. I know not everybody loves me. One of the things is with the thyroid issue that I have, sometimes it acts up a little bit, typically with stress. So I can go to sleep and feel really good about my body and how much I've accomplished, and wake up and go, what the frick happened? What did I wake up and eat a whole cake in my sleep? What happened to my body? And then my skin is compromised, but I can still look at myself and say, I'm happy with who I am and how I look. And if somebody else isn't, that's their issue, not mine. Now, that's That's on that level. The other level is just being able to just love your home no matter what it looks like, how it is, whether you rent or own, to be able to love the things in your home no matter what they are. And that is the self love. Like, no matter how I look, I'm still okay with me. I accept who I am and how I am. Yes, it's okay to work toward a better look, but I love and accept who I am and how I am right now, understanding this is I've been through this journey. You know, none of us have silver spoons in our mouths, and even those born with a silver spoon in their mouth, they also go through their trials and tribulations, understanding that every single person has their things that they come to this plane to overcome. I used to, always make reference about Paris Hilton because I thought she was just one of the most beautiful people I'd ever seen in general. And there was just something about her spirit. And then I started to hear some of the things that she went through. And we didn't hear these things until way after. And you think, oh my gosh, she was born into the Hilton family. What a life she must have lived. Yeah, what a life she lived. What an interesting dynamic her family supposedly put her through. And then you learn, yeah, that's right. And then you learn of the abuse she suffered. Yeah. They had her signed into I don't want to say too much because I might get some of the facts wrong, right? But we look at people and we think, oh, to have that life. And then we realize, oh, yeah, they went through, just because somebody has money or looks or notoriety or fame, it doesn't mean they had a cakewalk, right? Unless that cake was like a prison cake with knives in it to cut them out of this. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe that wasn't the best analogy, but anyway, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. Um, but and then we learn if they do have that notoriety, if they're famous, like the actors, all the things they did to get there wasn't talent unless like a has talent, right? I don't know. I'm sorry. Did I cross the line? Is that crossing the line? Sometimes I don't know what crossing the line is anymore. Not saying they don't have talent, but just saying then we realize all these other things that happened, especially with child stars like Britney Spears and Justin Bieber and all of them. Um, so here's what I'm going to say. Going back to self love and bringing things in, always work with love and light, the universe of love and light, and whatever deities you deem the best light deities for you. And some people think, well, you have to go to this saint or that deity or this angel. Yes and no. You can say, please bring in the angels that can help me with this. Please bring in the saints that can help me with this. Please bring in the universe that can help me with this. Please bring in the deities that can help me with this, of love and light. Of love and light. And have them come in. And if you don't know your path, let's talk about this one. Let's say you're trying to decide what to do next. Career. We're going to start with career. If you want to open a business, if you want to have a career, if you want to change careers or start a new career, whatever it is. And I'm going to walk us through a little meditation. So those of you who can do the meditation, great. If you can't do it, we will do it. You can come back and rewatch this later tonight and do the meditation at that time. But I'm going to walk you through what I do when I work with angels, manifest, or work with the universe, whatever your most comfortable term is. First of all, believe it can come to you, believe it's for you. Make sure you would be comfortable having it. So many people ask for millions and millions of dollars and they wouldn't even be comfortable with it. They're giving it away before they even get it. If I were to say to you guys, $10 million in your bank account or $100 million in your bank account tomorrow morning, many people get so overwhelmed with the number because we feel like if we have $1,000 in our purse or our wallet and we're walking around with cash money, $1,000, we're clutching that. We got the double hand clutch, underarm, stinky pit, sweating through it, clutch on that bag, right? We are like, somebody gonna get my $1,000, right? Like we are trying to be responsible with that money and watching that money and being uber cautious of that $1,000 in our bag, right? Now imagine if you have $100,000 in your account or $1 million in your account or whatever number goes past your comfort zone number. Okay, because we have a comfort zone. We do. We have that comfort zone. Like this amount is in my account, it doesn't even faze me. Like anybody having $500 in their account is like, yeah, but that's not even enough to pay my bills next month, right? We're like, I need to bring in more. Okay. But when we get to those bigger numbers that we generally ask for, let's just say I'm going to use 100 million just because I'm assuming probably wrongfully that most people don't have that in their account at this moment. And when we're trying to bring that in, we have to make sure we're comfortable with that amount. We're not constantly going to be worried about that amount in our bank account and it disappearing, or we can believe we deserve that amount. Okay. Whatever that amount is, most of us, like when we're manifesting, we go for a number that we think is not too much because we don't want to ask too much of the universe or God or the angels. And then we ask for an amount that we're comfortable with. So I want you to go beyond that. Okay. So when I'm doing it, there's a process I do, and it's usually as I'm falling asleep because that state in between awake and asleep is the zone. And that zone is where we can, without our conscious mind interfering, imagine and see things that we normally wouldn't imagine and see if we're awake and walking around all day long. We can allow our imagination. So we need to see at least one little part of it. We need to feel in some way this item. And we need to be able to put it out there and feel comfortable with it, whatever the amount is or the item is. So if you're asking, let's just say for a home, you want to own a home and however the terms or the price for the home, a lot of times if you say, I want a home and I want it to be under this price, and your logical conscious mind will go to, well, this is what you're going to get for that. You're going to get like a rundown home that's going to need, let's say 50,000, a rundown home that's going to need a lot of work. Well, again, what if you can inherit like a luxury home? Would you be comfortable in a luxury home? Or do you like a more casual, comfortable home, a cozy home? Do you like sometimes I see these homes in magazines. I'm like, oh my God, that looks like a lot of work. Fudge. How many people would I have to even hire to clean that? I don't want to clean stainless steel refrigerators and stoves. I wouldn't even know how to use that stove. Oh my God, that's a lot of windows. I would have to spend 24/7 cleaning. Like, I don't want to have a house like that. Like, there's this area near the lake. It's the lakefront properties. And I'll drive past these big lakefront homes and I just look at them and I'm like, who has to clean that? And if it's cleaning people, I'm like, how much do they charge? How much do you get paid? Because it can't be one, that's a full-time job for someone. It's a serious full-time job, right? Like, I finally committed to doing my laundry once a week, folks. Okay. I'm like, every Sunday, without fail, you just wake your butt up and put it in the washer, regardless of if my meat did not get delivered, half the time I would go without meat. I'm just saying, I'm a more fly by the seat of my pants person than a schedule it in person. So a big house like that is overwhelming. You want to make sure it's practical for you, is my point. The same thing with a vehicle. If you want to manifest a vehicle, you want to make it a vehicle you're comfortable with. You want to love it, but it has to be something you want, you love, and you're comfortable with it. Like if you are trying to manifest a Bugatti, for example, but then you're afraid to drive it down the street because it might get a scratch on it or somebody might steal it, what's the point? That's bringing you more stress and anxiety than I'm not going to say that vehicle, like an SUV that you absolutely love and you can take and have fun in, or a pickup truck that you absolutely adore, right? Like, and then like the maintenance on like a Bugatti or a Bentley or certain Mercedes is like more than my monthly rent. Like I don't want that. Like, so all these things come in. Okay, so when you're manifesting or praying to the angels to work with you and the universe and whomever you believe in, you definitely want to bring all those elements in. Do I believe this is for me? Do I believe I could have this? Would I be comfortable with it? House, career, work, whatever it is. Second, am I believe, comfort, and then can I visualize this for me? Okay, that's the way I'm going to say it. Now, if it's a career and you're not sure what direction to go, which is where I believe I started this, ask the angels to show you without a doubt, to put it in your face and to give you that feeling when you see or hear it. The way I got into hypnosis is I saw Brian Weiss giving an interview on TV, and he was talking about healing people. And something inside of me just said, I need to do that. That's what I need to do. And that day, I called and found a school and started the training like within a month. Everything, like I think a program was starting within 2 weeks. Everything was like boom, boom, boom. It just lined up and it felt so right. And my instructor, I just adored her. She passed on. Like I never cried so hard when somebody passed on. I did, but like I cried so hard when she passed on. But anyway, that's how you know. And that's how you can ask for guidance to show you something, like just show me. Show me. And when it comes to people, because a lot of people will say like, is this person good to me? I'll say, show me the truth. And then within a very short, like the fly on the wall thing, within a very short period of time, you will get that evidence. You just have to believe it and make your choice. And here's the other thing. If you're asking for the truth about people, if they're coming back into your life or they're in your life with character, ethics, and love, and you want to know the truth, be ready to let go of those people. Because if you're not ready to let go of those people, you then have people in your life that you now know are not good people for you. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do this visualization, this manifestation thing, the way I do it. And if you cannot do this right now, that's okay. Just come back. It's at like the 59-minute mark is when we're going to start this. Now, I typically do this again when I'm in bed at night after I've said my prayers and done everything else. Then I'll like just go into this space because I'm pretty out of it by then. And I go into this space, but we're going to start it from here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a minimum of 3 very slow, deep breaths in and very slow, deep breaths out. But we're going to follow the breath all as far down as we can. We're going to be very intentional of a very slow, deep breath in that we follow all the way down. And then we follow all the way out. And typically I feel like go out the top of my head, even though it's going out my nose or my mouth. A minimum of 3. When you're breathing, you typically cannot think. So that puts your mind in that, I'm going to call it the blank space. That space where you are not thinking of anything specific. Before we do the 3 breaths, I want you to think of 2 areas of your life that you have something you really want, whether it's money, a raise, which is money. But I want you to don't be super exact about it. Like, for example, I want a X amount of a raise where I work. Maybe the universe has something better, and maybe where you work cannot give it to you, but another place has a better situation for you. Okay. I'm not saying you're going to have to switch jobs. Okay. I'm just saying I need this. I want this much more money to come in per month, per week, per year. And I'm leaving it up to the universe on how they bring that to me. Okay. So we're going to, or if it's a home, you don't have to see the whole home. You have to have the idea of what you want the home to feel like. Maybe one aspect of the home, like the floors. I want it to have these floors. I want it to feel like this. If it's a vehicle, you don't have to see the whole vehicle. Maybe like one of the things I said was leather and all the options, even options I don't know about. And when I said leather, I saw the center column in black leather. That's all they showed me. Okay. So, and then I want you to know, I want you to have that knowing it's going to come much more quickly than you think, but when you're ready. So everybody, let's, if you can, close your eyes. If you're in a position where you can, and again, you can come back later and do this. We're at the 102 mark now. So we're going to start with a very slow, deep breath in, following it all the way down, holding it just for a second, and very slowly and gently releasing it. Following it all the way out. And let's do that again, bringing that breath all the way in, very slowly and gently, as far down as possible, and hold it just for a second. And then very slowly allowing it to release, following it all the way up and out. Now, as we bring the third very deep, very slow breath in, hold it just for a moment, just for a second or so. Allow that breath to slowly release. I want you to just imagine the first thing, one part of it, feel it. Just allow yourself to feel it, to see one part of it, to have a few characteristics of this that you want. So, for example, a home. Imagine part of the bathroom or the flooring or a kitchen part. You don't have to imagine the whole thing. If it's a vehicle, just imagine the steering wheel. What type of vehicle, an SUV, a car, pickup truck, whatever it is for you. If it's a person, if you're calling in love, imagine the essence of the person. Now, I'd like you to say a few things about this. If it's a vehicle or a home, bedrooms, bathrooms, how many? And play with it. Don't let it get serious in your mind. This is fun. We're creating. If it gets too serious or heavy, take that very slow, deep breath in. Follow the breath all the way down. And then very slowly and gently follow that breath all the way out. And make it light. Make it fun. Like when you were a kid and you were making your Christmas list and you could imagine the toys and playing with them and having them and opening them under the Christmas tree. Now, here's the difficult part, and I want you to not overthink this. Take a very slow, deep breath in. Let it flow all the way down. And breathe that breath out. And if you're comfortable asking for this as a gift, let it be a gift that comes to you. Ask them to bring you this gift. Sometimes you might even say, I don't even have to pay the taxes, and they can come like, I could win this, I could inherit this, I could, whatever it is, someone could just gift it to me. If you're not comfortable with that, some people are not comfortable with that, take another very slow, deep breath in, follow that breath all the way down. Follow the breath out. Think of the amount that's reasonable to you, and don't use logic of, well, this amount will only get me this. You'd be surprised. Allow that breath to release. And then before you open your eyes, say, and nobody gets hurt. Easily, quickly, in the best possible way, and nobody gets hurt. Imagine enjoying whatever it is that you're working on. And then when you're done, open your eyes and welcome back. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the like, Rebecca. As you come back, and I didn't want to speak too soon because I want everybody to take their time, but when you do this later, if you can cut just that part out, and that took like 5 minutes, folks, 5 minutes maybe. As you fall asleep, when you're like in that space in between awake and sleep, that's the hypnosis state. And when you're in that space, that's when you put your stuff out to the universe. Again, your logical conscious mind doesn't interfere in that point. If it does, just take those breaths in and release them. And every time you do this, work on something different. Like come in. Now, once you put something out and you know it's good, forget about it. Let it go. Let the universe handle it. Let your angels and your guides and your ancestors do their thing and bring it to you. But you can do it for something different every night. Every night you can do it for something different. Ask them to show you this, show you that, do whatever it is that you are ready for and you want. And don't be surprised if it shows up in the craziest way, in the absolute craziest way. Okay, does anybody that's on the phone want to say anything else before we um, end this for today? And then I'm gonna, well, somebody comes on. Does anybody want to say anything while I look at next week's question?
That we both are super useful information, and not asking for something that's too large, something that's reasonable. So thank you for sharing that and everything. Thank you.
Yeah, and Noelle, okay, so let me put it, I want to give you some perspective on that. It's not asking for something that's too large. It's asking for what you can believe. And as you receive things, you'll believe more and it will get larger. Let me put it this way. What you would manifest in the beginning and start to receive your manifestations or your prayers, and what you manifest or prayer for 6 months later and then a year later should be completely different and on much larger scales. If we are created from the greatest creator there is, and we are put here to create and co-create, our creations should get much bigger and better as time goes on. And even in the beginning, we create for us. I want a home. I want a vehicle. I want this. And then we start really playing with the universe and we really get into it. And you're like, you know what? I want to create something where I'm creating a product that people can use. I'm creating a book everybody can read and heal. I'm creating a business where there are people out there that they say, I want to create jobs for people. I want to create a business where I have employees that can take care of their family. I want to create music that uplifts people and brings them love and light, and I want everybody who needs that music to get it. I want to create, there are a lot of people that their goal since they're a child, and maybe it's something that happens in their childhood, is to create businesses just so they can employ people, so people can feed their families. Or here's one, I want to create a safe haven for women who have been through domestic situations to go to. I want to create an animal shelter. So once we get past and start with you, it's okay to start with you. Nothing is selfish. Okay. We have to, if you want to manifest, you have to completely take that out of your existence. Nothing is selfish. People think people with money are selfish and greedy. No, they just know how to create. Okay, they know how to create, whether we like it or not, whether we like what they do with the money or how they use it. They know how to work with the universe and create. Just because they're doing something different with the money than we deem ethical or appropriate, that's none of our business what they do with the money. Okay. We have to get out of our head anything about greed, anything about selfishness, anything about what other people will think of us. If you instantly became a millionaire tomorrow, one of the biggest things that people think of is I better share because my family, my friends, my partner will think I'm better than them. They will judge me and call me selfish and greedy. Oh, money changed you. Bitch, it did. Bitch, it did. I'm driving a better car. I'm living a better life. If money, you know what, being poor put me here, having money put me here. It better change me. It better change you. It better make you in a better place so you can keep creating. You bet it changed me. And let me tell you something before you say money changed me. If you had the money, it would change you too. So zip it, shut it, bzit, sit your ass down, sit your booty down. I'm trying not to swear, but I heard a thing that when you swear, people who swear are very authentic. I'm probably the most authentic person on the face of this earth, if that's true. Okay, but no, seriously, the more you create and start with yourself, because it's easy, because you know what you want for you. You know what your heart wants. And when you create from your heart space, when you create with the beat of your heart, and you can see it, it is coming to you. And you have to believe that. Now, once you can do that for you and you've got it down, then maybe you open a place where you can teach music all day, or you can help people learn how to write books, or you can help women and here's my thing. I don't believe in just giving to people. If you want to help women who, let's say, are struggling with single moms, let's say that, open an organization that trains them, or something like this, to open an organization that trains them to become better entrepreneurs, to teach them a skill or a trade where they can start earning more money. I believe in that. It's like, don't give a man a fish, teach a man to fish. Teach a woman to create her empire. Everybody has an empire within them. And how big they can dream in this moment today for their empire is not the dream they'll have 6 months later. God, I hope it's not. It should get bigger with every single thing. So we start off here, and we start off with what we're comfortable with and what we believe we can bring in. And as we bring things in, that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, Tony Robbins is manifesting hundreds of thousands of people at every event he does. Now, I'm not going to speak on him personally. He's just an easy example to use. Somebody who's just starting out in the speaking venue might be praying or manifesting 20 people to show up for their engagement. So it's that sort of thing that you are going to work with. And then once you have the confidence and 50 people show up for you, then you're going to have the confidence to say, okay, it's growing. I'm going to get 75. I'm going to get 100. And pretty soon you're going to have those hundreds of thousands of people in stadiums being sold out. As long as you believe it, as long as you can work with it, and as long as you're comfortable with it. Some people would be overwhelmed speaking in front of 20 people. Other people don't even want to speak in front of one person, but some people can hold hundreds, if not thousands of people's engagement when they speak. Now, if you want to open a business, ask, show me the business and give me the means. If you're bringing in a person, say, bring me the perfect person for me and let me know this is my person. And ask, you can ask by what they say, by what they do. Ask for a specific word or something like that. I don't know. If it's a work thing or a promotion thing, bring me the perfect one, the perfect promotion, not just any promotion, or a home. And people think the home I want and the home I can afford are two different things. Why? I'm gonna say this, Rebecca. I'm gonna use you as your son as an example. Your son wanted a vehicle. Somebody had a vehicle they needed, or they did. I believe the thing is, Rebecca, you're still on the line. Can you talk right now? I'm waiting. I don't know. Is it because I know everybody's working and they can't always. Okay, Rebecca, come on. Come on. Unmute yourself.
I'm here.
Okay, so Rebecca, you came on air a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so, and you talked about your son. I remember saying, oh, something with a car. And you said, yeah, my son needed a car and he went to this person tell us the story about your son in the car.
My son, one of my sons, at his work, this lady, her husband passed away, and she didn't want the car. It was a BMW, and she told my son, "Here, you can have the car." And it went from there. But my son didn't take the car because I guess somebody convinced the lady something.
Okay,
And
but
he went the different route. But yes.
So here's the thing. So I'm going to use that, especially the beginning of that, where somebody offered him a free vehicle, and maybe in his head, or I'm not going to blame him, but right there is the example of, and a BMW on top of it. Come on, right?
My husband's shocked. He's like, really? This is unbelievable.
And that verbiage will tell you too, this is unbelievable. Not that he undid the manifestation, but oh my gosh, just like that, it can happen for anybody. I know so many stories, and I used to teach a six session manifestation program for people where each session we'd go into a deep hypnosis and we'd clear away. No, this was Heather. This was somebody he worked with, so he knew this woman already. And yeah, these are things, and this is what stops. What Heather's saying in the comments is 100% what stops our manifestations, because it very rarely comes from family or like the way we think it's going to come in. It always comes in such an odd, unexpected, surprising way. So Heather says automatically you would think this is a scam, or what's the catch? And yeah, that's what stops it from us getting it. Like if somebody offers you that promotion and you're like, okay, but what else do you want me to do? Can I handle it? Stops it. And like this was somebody he knew from work, Rebecca said. And he thought this is too good to be true, or whatever it is. But as long as
he's doing a delivery, he's a delivery. He drives a delivery truck, does deliveries, and when he showed up, they're rich folks out there, and he did that delivery, and the customer, because of the husband passing away, I guess she was angry. It was not a medical condition, something he did to himself. Oh. And she's just like, here, you can take this car. Please take it. I don't want to see it here. And he was in shock too. Like, what?
Yeah. And could you imagine if he would have just taken the keys and the title and left, and then he would have that BMW, right? But that's how sometimes it happens. Angels are working and they bring you this gift, and you have to act on it, because if it's not you, it'll be somebody else. I had a situation where I'd done these manifestations, and then somebody popped in my life who was such a godsend, and all of my manifestations started happening. Now, I will tell you, the first time I met this person, I was a little bit of not afraid, but very cautious of this person. For a couple of different reasons. But over time, this became one of the greatest people in my life. They've passed on since, but this is one of the people in my life that I can say was genuinely just such a good person to me. This person was like just genuinely good, like heaven on earth type of person. Didn't and was never like mean to me. Or whatever. And I know God sent that person into my life to help me and to show me creation and manifestation works. But if I had let my initial nervousness or like fear take over, none of that would have happened, at least not in that way. So, whatever way it is brought to you, you have to just be ready to say yes. Now, a lot of people want money. And when we think of receiving money, and this is the easiest example for me to use, but I want you to think of money, a house, a vehicle. When we think of these things, when we think of getting money, we think of working. Maybe we could inherit it, but then we think, well, who's going to die that's going to leave me these things? I don't know anybody who has like that kind of money or that house, or if they would even leave it to me because they have kids, or leave me their business or their portfolio of stocks, whatever it is, right? And then we think of a home or a vehicle and we think, well, I have to buy it and I'll have to make payments and it has to be within my parameters. But what, or I could inherit it. So when it comes in, especially if we're just asking for, let's say, $100,000 or 10,000, whatever it is, our logical mind wants to say it could only come like A, B, or C. But then if we just allow the universe to use its way to bring it to us, it will be so much easier. I see these stories where people find like a bag with cash in it. I've seen 2 of these stories where people found a bag. One of them, I think, had $100,000 in it or something, and they turned it in. I'm like, seriously? But like, first of all, how often do you find a bag of money? And it wasn't like a Brinks truck bag. It was like a regular whatever bag. But for that, even if a bag of money fell out of the sky in front of your feet with the exact amount, with a tag with your name on it, you would probably be afraid to take it because you would think, oh my God, there's cameras on me. I'm going to get in trouble if I keep this money. It's not mine. And you would turn it in because that's a logical thing that people do. So you have to be open to however it can come to you. And that may be something that you maybe wouldn't think, I would never take money in this way. I would never accept this. You have to be willing and open to all of that coming through in the way they can bring it through. And the same thing with a house. Like in this case, her husband passed away. And in her husband passing away, and a lot of people are having parents pass away, children passing away, partners passing away, and they don't want to look at the stuff because it's too painful, or they're angry, or whatever the thing is. They're willing to give some of this stuff away, and they're willing to sell it very inexpensively. There are stories where the people don't know the value of it. Look at the story of the rapture. We were supposed to have a rapture not too long ago. I'm sorry, bear with me. I'm not laughing at that. I'm thinking of a joke in my head about that. I'm sorry. And with this rapture, because people thought it was the rapture, they were giving away their cars, their homes to people. They were putting all their furniture on the street. Now, a couple people gave their kids to CPS. Who do you think you are that your children are not going to be taken in the rapture, but you are? What kind of demon seeds do you have, first of all? But second of all, why would you think your children are not going to be taken in the rapture with you if there's a rapture? But second, some people were turning their dogs into shelters or giving them to friends. Most pets I know are going through the rapture before we do, if there would ever be a rapture in our time. Now, there's a way right there where all these people were giving away all of their stuff. I mean, they were emptying out all of their furniture onto their curbs because they were so convinced the rapture was coming. People were collecting really nice stuff. So we never know how something is going to come to us. Rebecca says 1996 I bought a new car, had a car payment, a 97 newborn. I couldn't afford, so I returned the car, sort like repo. My baby was 6 months and I had no money. I asked, what can I do to make money? I received in the mail a return check for the car I surrendered. Oh my God, that's an see, just like that, you guys. We never know what the universe can bring us, and just pray. Manifest, pray, whatever words you want to use, just believe, because there is unseen forces of love and light that are just waiting to help us, just wanting to assist. And it may not come like I pray today, it's going to be here tonight, or I pray tonight, it's going to be there, but it will start to come in. And once you make the prayer and it's what you want, just let the universe do its job. Don't keep changing it. Don't second guess it. When you get it, then you can, and even before you get it, you can be working on the next prayer and the next prayer and the next prayer, or manifestation, or whatever you want. But work with your angels, work with your guides, work with your ancestors, work with the universe. And if you use the word God, whoever you work with them, and believe they want you to have the absolute best life possible for you. Okay, I'm going to do next week's question. What if love is the answer? That's the whole question. What if love is the answer? And I'm going to add to that, to everything. To everything. Sometimes we, like in relationships, sometimes in every area, we're afraid to allow ourselves to love because we don't want to be taken advantage of. We don't want to be hurt. We don't want to look like a fool. Whatever it is, whatever that thing is, we don't want to be hurt again. But what if love is the answer to bringing, because when we're in that frequency of self-love, acceptance, authenticity, just love, that frequency will just bring everything into us. Just bring it all into us. So what if love is the answer? Not only for our children and for us, but for everything we want. What we really love will bring in, but what we really fear will also bring in. So, but what if love is the answer? Okay, you guys, that's next Tuesday at noon. We'll be discussing that. I'll be back tomorrow at noon to do the psychic show. So I hope to see you there. You guys have an absolutely amazing rest of the day. I love you all so very, very much. Until tomorrow, manifest, make miracles, make some miracles. Get out there and create some miracles in your life. Show everybody how it's done. You and your angels work and show everybody how it's done. All righty. Thanks, you guys, for being here today.